And one of them at the very end has a kind of crazy story where a lady's walking out with my painting that I just paid for. Okay, she's back with another thrift haul. My name is Krysta. This is our first home. We are semi renovating it on a small budget. It's not easy to furnish these things, but I am committed to doing it, staying in our budget. We don't operate on credit card debt, so this is going to take time and it's piece by piece, very thoughtfully done. With all that being said, here's my thrift haul from this past week, I think. Let's start the easy one. This one technically wasn't a thrift item. It's like this auction store that does returns. I don't know if that makes it's called Nallis. I don't know if anyone is familiar with it, but it's maybe a local Arizona thing. But this is a Calcutta marble little tray that was like $15. You can put like some little perfumes on it or whatever. We will see. Hopefully, I will update all this once it's styled and the house is more put together than it is now. Okay, let's do this little thing next. How cute is this chair? This was actually my first time going to the Habitat for Humanity store. And this chair was there for like $5. I was like, why not? Our guest room is quite tight. There's not a whole lot of room in there. Like, I can't fit a whole like dresser for people to be able to place things on top of. Maybe I'll pull it off, but I don't think so. So this is nice for at least people to pack on a suitcase or put a little stack of towels for guests. And if not that, then in the entryway, just a nice little spot to sit while you put your shoes on. I would skip these at the antique store unless you're looking for a very specific era or maker or things like that. Otherwise, you can find them very cheap at yard sales, Facebook Marketplace, or like I did at a thrift store. I do want to say, in case you are like me and don't actually want to have a house full of antiques, don't overdo the shabby chic, antique, old, rustic looking things if it's not your goal to have a whole shabby chic, rustic themed house. That's not what I'm going for. They do have to be very balanced and you have to be very careful that you don't overdo it. And honestly, for every antique I throw in a room, I am also trying to throw in a more modern, sleek looking piece. That being said, I have another rustic, shabby, chicy looking thing, a nice, sort of big ish wicker basket. It's probably my biggest one that I've found so far, which is still not super big. But again, this will be going in my sewing room. And this house obviously is naturally more on the modern side. So I do need a couple of things in my sewing room to just give it a little bit of that lived in sort of look. And baskets is honestly just such an easy, affordable thing to do. This was $7 at Goodwill. And I do really like it. I already got a bunch of random things in there because that's how much I need storage in my craft room. Okay, on to the next thing, talking coffee table books. I'm sure there's plenty of people who would agree to disagree, but for me and my husband, we tend to look for books that actually have something to do with us or our story or experiences that we've had. For example, there was a beautiful book about like Chinese priests or something like that. The cover was very beautiful, but I was like, I don't actually know about this. I'm not genuinely interested in reading this. It just didn't feel like me. It also didn't feel like my husband. So we skipped on that one. So I'm going to give you a little play by play of what I look for when I'm looking for books at the thrift store. And then I'll show you which ones I got. First thing I'm looking for is size. I'm just scanning for the biggest books on the shelves. If you're trying to layer or stack something on top of it, I want to say this is maybe like an 8x8, maybe 9x9. And then this next one is much bigger, so they actually stack on top of each other very well. If you were to find two books of the same size, they don't really stack nicely because you only see one of the books. But when one is a little bit smaller than the other, you can see how you can appreciate both colors at the same time. And it's just overall a little bit of a better look, in my opinion. The next thing I look for is if under the paper cover there's an actual fabric or fabric looking hardback. I haven't been to Spain, but it is on my bucket list of dream places to visit. There's so much crazy history, especially as Christians. There's so much religious history that happened for Christendom through Spain. But specifically, this book has to do with how the design and art and aesthetics meshed with Islamic culture and the Christendom culture that was already in Spain. So I found it fascinating. The pictures are beautiful, and some of the fabrics they show and the architecture, I love it. Combined with the fact that we are doing a couple of Spanish elements in this house, just look at how beautiful. Like, is that not just some of the most beautiful stuff you've ever seen? And not only that, because I'm into also like fabric arts, quilting, and all of that, I genuinely do love older books that you can get inspiration from as far as color combinations, patterns for paint or creating your own art or painting on ceramic tile. All that stuff is like goals that I would like to do at some point in my life. So grab. That book was $4. This book was a little bit more expensive, I think, because it was so much bigger. This one was $6, and this one is all about the Mediterranean. I have like a very special spot in my heart for Greece. I am not Greek. I did not come from Greece. I know family who had been to Greece, but ever since I was very young, that was where I wanted to go. I planned to go there for my honeymoon, which actually was planned. Anyways, we ended up going to Hawaii, which was beautiful, but a couple years later, we did finally make my dream a reality. Since we didn't get to go for my honeymoon, we went to Greece. I honestly can't wait to look through this book and just be like, oh, I've been there. All right, last but not least. So when they pulled this out from the back room, I actually could only see the back of the painting, and I followed them to the floor to see what it was, and this is what it was. And I just immediately thought it was so beautiful. I knew I was going home with it. Plus, the price was only $13. So I brought this up to the front, paid for it, took it to my car, and I didn't even second guess. I was like, for sure this would fit. Spoiler alert, it didn't fit. And I was filming myself. That was a little bit embarrassing. Yeah, I had to take it back in the store. I told the lady, I'm going to need to put this on hold. How long do you have? She said, you got 48 hours. I said, perfect. I saw her put the hold sticker on it. And then I was just to like make sure, I was like, okay, and you're going to take it to the back, right? She was kind of like one of those like emo store clerk girls, like, yeah. I didn't want to question her, just like trusted her. Anyways, borrowed an SUV from my parents, come back the next day, got a flat tire on the way, which derailed me. The timing of it all was very interesting, but I was able to make it before it closed. I'm in the line to pick up. It's my turn. I get off. I give them my ticket. They're in the back looking for it. And what do you know? They can't find it.
I'm sure we'll find it.
I hope so.
We never lose a thing.
And I was getting real nervous. I was like, okay, no, just relax. It's got to be there somewhere.
I can't find it. This is why I don't want
Just,
to leave.
it's going to be there. It's going to be there.
packing
It's
it
a
in the
huge
car.
room with tons of items. I was like, maybe it got lost. Maybe someone put it in the wrong place. He brings the manager. It's like, I'm really sorry. A really crazy day yesterday. We were very short staffed. And I think
That means she might not have actually brought it back.
Yeah.
It just stayed out on the floor. Someone could have read the tag, which happened so odd.
I was so bummed. I got in my car, so sad. And I was like recording this whole thing so that I could show, like, oh yeah, look at me, my thrift haul painting that I got. And I'm just talking to the camera, like,
Some rat.
took my painting, took the sticker off, and I'm really sad about it. Leaving totally defeated on my way to go home, and I'm passing through the front of the store to go out of the parking lot. Next thing I know, I see a woman walking out of Goodwill with this huge black wooden board, and it's my painting. I panicked because my first thought was like,
Some rat.
this lady's a thief. She took my sticker off. I didn't actually know if that was how it happened, but that was my like natural instinct. And I was like, that's mine. Like, no, they're trying to steal it essentially, even though obviously they probably paid for it, but it was like, that's my baby and you took it from me. So I didn't really know what to do. So I literally stopped the car in the middle of the road, not the main road, but the main drive through of the parking lot. I stopped my car, got out. I was like, excuse me, ma'am, I think you have my painting. And obviously she's totally caught off guard. And I was like, I know this sounds really crazy, but here I have, so I happen to have the video of me taking the painting out of Goodwill and trying to put it in my car. And I showed her, I was like, did that have a sticker when you found it? And she was like, no, it didn't. It was just sitting there. I thought it was awesome. So I picked it up and I believed her. I mean, will I ever know the truth about whether she was being honest or not, no, I won't. But I chose to believe her. And I was like, listen, I am not trying to blame you, but I will say I already paid for this painting. I was literally here to pick it up right now. Would you be willing to give my painting back to me? I didn't even know what to say. It sounded so silly. And even retelling the story, I don't know if I did the right thing, but like technically that was mine. I had the receipt for it, I had the pickup ticket for it, I had video evidence of me attempting to take it home. And she was like, I just really love this. And I don't know. She didn't want to give it up. So I was like, listen, I know that, it's not your fault either. And you technically would be giving something up too. So I'll pay you double for it. Which, I mean, it was only $15. Even if it was in the store for $30, I still would have grabbed. So she still didn't want to give it up. So I was like, $45. You will walk away making more money than you spent today. Would you be willing to give this back to me? She still was like, I don't know. I just really. So, ladies and gents, $60 is what the deal ended up being. I don't know if I got scammed, guys. I really don't know, but I did think it was that pretty. And it's so hard to find big art that's it's not signed, but it is like an actual oil painting. You can tell when you're really close up. So I paid her. I went to go get my own refund from the store, and the manager was like, in 5 years, I've never seen something like that happen. Let's just say I hadn't gotten the flat tire, or let's say I would have taken 30 seconds longer. I wouldn't have saw it. I literally would not have been crossing the front of the store right as she was walking out with it. We can let the internet decide whether I did the wrong thing or not, but honestly, I felt like I got scammed a little bit. Technically, it was Goodwill's fault, not this lady's fault, but I don't know who took the tag off. Maybe it was the store clerk. Maybe it was that lady. Maybe it was somebody else and then they changed their mind. I don't know. But, anyways, she's here now. She lives with us. And I paid my fair share for her. So that's going down in the books as one of the most epic thrift stories that I have. So, thanks to my little Goodwill dramatic experience, I feel like it was a pretty exciting week in the thrifting world of Krysta's little house. Spent a little more on some certain things than I would have, but it's all right. It's part of the fun. It's part of the storytelling in your house, things that actually make your space interesting and give it a little bit of character. So I'll see you guys on the next one.